Hello, welcome to Line War. Today we have Eickot. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I'm probably wrong, I've tried. And we've got Broman, who is over here. Broman has gone for a bit of eco on both. He's gone 2 airfields and a factory. And he has started pretty close. They're quite a close start on this one. Eickot is going mostly eco and he's waiting to decide, I think. Oh no, he's got his airfield there. And he's still got a bit of cash left over to decide what to do with. Both players have gone airfields and they're across the water, so I think air is going to be quite important here. And also I'd just like to thank Eickot, if that's how you pronounce the name, for sending the replay through my Discord on the Line War chat section in my Discord. So there is a link in the description below. I will probably prioritize the replays in my Discord just so I can be different from other people who are finding replays from the Line War channel. But I will be trying to find replays there as well anyway, so it's up to you, really. So we've got a bit of a ground fight there, a bit of a struggle for this bit, but I think Broman is kind of ignoring him. He's tried to retreat by the looks of it. He may have got a couple of units out, but he's bringing in the artillery. He's got a little line forming here. He's going for 2 helicopters, so both these airfields are producing helicopters at the minute. And Eickot is also doing a helicopter. He's gone for a nuke. He left some money behind. He's going to do a nuke rush, by the looks of things. I hope he doesn't use his helicopters, though, because if he does, he's going to run out of energy. And the problem with using the nuke second, he's got to wait for it to build, so he can't use his instant build at the beginning of the game. So this isn't going to be necessarily a nuke rush, but it's definitely an early nuke. I wonder if he can use it well enough to change the tide of battle. So he could either use it on the airfields, which would be a good choice, because that's going to be where most of his force is going to be. And he can see the air unit now. Or he can try and hit the units, which are quite spread out. So if he knows about the airfields, which you'd have to use the helicopter to figure that out, I think. I mean, he's got production of energy already. Oh, this is Broman anyway, so Broman's got production of energy. He is fine. He's used a power plant to do it, though, so he can fund his air units' movements. And Eickot also has 2 energy wells, but they're in quite a competitive zone. They're not going to be easy to defend there. But it does look like both players are just casually ignoring each other for a little bit. They're just sort of testing the waters around each other, but they're not willing to commit to a fight right now. But they are both trying to, I think they're trying to expand before the other one can get to this sort of zone. And it looks like Eickot is going to do that first. Broman's a bit slower on the expanse because he's mostly gone this way. Most of his units went that way to capture territory, so it looks like it's going to be a left versus right. Sort of a yin-yang shape of territory. Eickot really wants some units to stay here. He's not moving his air units. I think he's understanding the energy problem that may arise from this. He's got a barracks here. This is just for expanding, so it's just going to fill up this area and he's going to expand here. But they're going to soon engage here because if I remember correctly, Broman has this area already and he is trying to go there straight away. But that line is only artillery, I think. Or is that Sam? It's a vehicle, not the ground troops. That's not artillery. I think that's Sam. And those artillery are placed quite well, but if you bring artillery straight through here, they're just going to hit them one at a time. So I'm not sure that would be great, but he can easily change that and adapt as it goes. Eickot has also gone for Sam pretty quickly, so he's seen the threat and he's reacted to it. He's adapted well. He has spent a lot of money in his nuke, though, and that is going to be a struggle because it wasn't built at first, was it? It's now built, but he can't afford it. He's only got 200 in the bank. And he can't afford to start production on it. He needs 500 extra credits. Which will mean he'll be behind in the economy compared to Broman. Sorry, my dog's barking. Oh, and there's a striker in the air. So, Broman has a mixture of aircraft. Bella. Shh. Board him. Sorry, my dog smiles at me. It makes me laugh. And so we've got Eickot has brought his air units in, which means even if he does build this nuke now, he's going to need to build a power plant or an energy well to fund it. But I think he realizes that he's going to have to because of the amount of units on the field. He's behind because he spent 500 credits on something that essentially is useless right now. But he's slowly building up the money. I think he knows what he's doing. He's trying to figure it out. He's trying to get there slowly. It's just taken him a bit too long to achieve. And it is going to slow him down for a while, but once that nuke's built, he may have the advantage, especially if Broman keeps up putting these lines like this. Because he's obviously not expecting it. He hasn't seen it. And I mean, who does expect a nuke at 6 minutes into the game? So, it could still go either way, but I'd say Eickot is behind right now. And he's just got to put up the perception that he's not. So that Broman doesn't suspect anything and push forward and advance. What's going on over this side? They have engaged, and they have fully engaged. Broman was committed to the right-hand side and did not want to let it go. I think it's because he mostly lost this side, or he's not captured a lot of the territory because he didn't commit a lot of units to it, so he had to try and commit to one side or the other. But he's committed to this side, which is going to be a problem because Eickot's structures, his important structures, are just here. And they are fairly undefended right now, so you need to stop this line here and build up a bit of a force in this choke point area. Otherwise you'll be using that nuke for defense, and that's not really what you want to use it for. And that helicopter's getting 3 hits on because Broman hasn't got any SAM units by the looks of it. He hasn't even built any. I think he was hoping he was the only one with air units at this point in the game. I don't think he's switched yet because I think those are artillery being built. It's hard to tell when they're being built. That one's definitely artillery. That one might be SAM, but it could be artillery. I think they've got the same base. But those strikers are going to tear up everything there. And they are able to hit these helicopters. But also the helicopters are able to hit air units, as you can see. And I think the helicopters are better than strikers in the air. But there are so many numbers here that they're going to strike the ground and the air units quite heavily. And if Broman could keep up the energy supply, he'd probably have the advantage at this point. Looks like he's doing a bit of a scout to try and find the eco. If he's got any eco there, he would have been able to snipe it potentially. Eickot expected it, so he's defended with the air units, anti-air units. They are engaging over here, and I wonder what's going on over this side. Is he pushing forward? Yeah, it looks like Broman's pushing forward over this side, and it's going to be a bit of a struggle for Eickot to defend that. Because that is quite a lot of infantry, and they can move quite fast, but because it's mountainous, they're going to move slower over this terrain, so it might give Eickot the advantage he needs to build up that defense, but he still needs to take away this line right now. They're also stealthed on that mountain, so I can't see them unless I look from this side. So from Broman's perspective, he's got 5, 6 infantry units here already. 2 helicopters are slowly taking them out, but they're struggling to see them in the mountains. There you go, he's suddenly appeared because there's 2 helicopters. When there's more units, you start revealing the stealth. That nuke is nearly ready. That's the top of it coming on. It's got probably, I don't know, a minute left or less. Artillery is pushing through here. Those helicopters are on the ground, right on the front lines, and that's what scares me about helicopters. They do land sometimes in vulnerable positions. Require a bit of microing just to get them out of the firing line sometimes. And a lot of this territory up here is a bit unclaimed, so looks like Broman might actually, if he was able to, try and take over some more land over here. Strikers are coming in, they've spotted these, even though they're in the mountains, they have stealth, but he has managed to spot them with his air units. And these infantry on the ground have probably accounted for that, but he can't see the nuke yet. I think the nuke's about here. I think he's going to be able to defend this quite well now, because they're still moving slow. He's got an artillery piece there. They're coming in slowly, and these are only anti-air units, so you probably need to pull that away. However, these strikers are going to come in now, and the SAM is here, if I remember. They're still expanding over there. The SAM are there. Is he going to move them in? That's definitely something you'd want to pull into this area right now, because those artillery are going to get destroyed by the strikers. But that nuke is ready now. He can fire it whenever he wants. He's got enough energy. And there it goes. He's going to fire it here, is what I would probably do with his visibility, because he doesn't know where the airfields are. You could probably tell the way they were moving back, but that'd be a bit riskier. If you destroy this area, you'd be able to push straight in there. It looks like Broman has managed to try and move his units. It wasn't quite quick enough, but he did try, and it's kind of impressive to react that quick to that, especially in this game. But it's also important to note he's also increasing his production by having this airstrip here. So these units will land there, and then they'll continue producing more units. And this is the time Eickot's chance now is to push into this area. Broman is low on energy, and his main defense will be his air units, and that's going to be a big struggle for him at this point. He's got units over there that are pushing in. I don't know what's going on there. I'll come back to that in a minute. Broman doesn't have the ability to push in here anymore. So, Eickot's push is pretty minimal because he doesn't have that many units available to him. But it could make Broman a bit vulnerable and make him feel the pressure so he doesn't push forward anymore. And Eickot is pretty much going to claim this area eventually. He's got more than enough units to handle what's here. And sooner or later he will have this. He has managed to successfully defend this area as well. He's bringing in anti-air to stop the interceptors coming in. Protect his own helicopters, but I don't know if that's going to be enough for a while. They are retreating, so that's a good thing for him. Broman is just trying to recover his defences. And he is trying to... Now he's built up some eco over here, so he has expanded in one straight line to try and get away from the front line and build up an eco in a different area. Somewhere safer, I think, is the objective there. He's got energy, he's got some town, well, some industry. And he's going to be claiming a lot of territory in the background there, whereas Eickot has pretty much nothing here. He'd have to cross the land, the ocean, try and get some more eco. And at this point, Broman is in control of most of the unclaimed territory. And Eickot is going to have to push through Broman to get there. But at this point, he might just have the ability to do it. Another nuke is nearly ready. This is a lot of air units. He knows there's a nuke available. He's trying to seek that nuke out, I think. He's found it and he's targeting it. He can't see it anymore because it's stealthed. He can't see the production on it. And that is not going to last long, especially with those SAM over here. They're not going to get there in time. That's gone down. He has lost his nuke advantage. And the airfield will very likely go down as well. Let's have a look at Eickot's. I don't think that is going to build in time, but if it does, he might be able to launch it just quickly. He's got more than enough energy. As soon as it's ready, he can fire it again. And I would probably be seeking out the airfield. You can see where they're heading off, and that would be where I'd guess. But he lost it. Oh, that must be a killer. He didn't manage to get it out in time. He still didn't move these SAM units. I would have moved them around here if I fired that nuke. I'd expect them to be there. He's had air units in that area too. And yeah, Eickot is pretty much at his advantage. He might still need to claim these few lands. I don't know if he does. He definitely should do. He's set up a pretty good defensive line here. He's got some areas covered from anti-air. So he's definitely reacted well to what's come out at him. And he is now pushing into Broman's territory. So not only is he gaining economy himself, which we'll have a look at the economy now. He's got 700 per minute. But he's also taken economy away from Broman. He's got 624 economy per minute. And there's my dog again. Sorry. Right, I'll back in a sec. had to give her a fuss. We've got a lot of chaotic air units going around everywhere now. He has been exposed in this area. He's trying to take out the energy. He's found that, so that's what his target's going to be. The interceptors over here, I assume, just to provide extra damage over here, or maybe there was helicopters that I missed. But those SAM units are going to be able to try and do a lot of damage on the strikers. There's enough there to take out a good amount. But they're not going to be there too long. They're just going to hit and run. But he's got one. He's going to have two. Will he get a third? Going to be close. Yeah, he got his third one out there. And he is expanding pretty well. He has taken control over the map. I feel really bad that he lost his nuke. But that was just a good play from Broman to go seek that out and destroy it. He is losing territory on this area, and he's losing some territory here, so he must be feeling a bit of the eco. But you got to remember, he didn't actually expand this area. He went straight up here to expand, which may have actually been a good thing in the end. He's trying to push in his artillery to this line. These guys are going to pull back. He's got a line there at this choke point. These are good areas to defend. There's not a lot of land, so when they come through, you'll have more units firing at them. That's the whole point of that. He knows that units are coming up here, so he's going to try and stop them and cut them off with the strikers. And it looks like he's only got strikers here. But is he about to bring in the interceptors? He is, yeah. He's bringing in the interceptors to take out the helicopter that's there. He's taking out the land units. You're going to need a lot more SAM to be on the front line and not just at the back defending. Because that's what he's using his strikers for. He's trying to stop the expanse. And it's working at this point. He's got more than enough air units to take control of any area. For a short amount of time at least. And I don't think he can see that structure. He can now, yeah. There's too many units in the area. He can see anything. And that is a lot of units. What is Eickot going to do about that? Is he bringing in SAM? Is he going to leave them there? It's a really hard decision to move the SAM units away. If he just had that nuke and managed to hit the airfields, it would put him in a much better position now. But he just doesn't know where they are. Still don't know who's going to win this one, especially as Eickot lost his nuke. He's lost a big advantage from his early eco that he had. However, Eickot is pushing in and he's destroying the artillery, and coming in at this side against this line means that this defensive line is pretty much going to be useless. But without Sam on the front line, these helicopters and air units are just going to tear him up. He's going to bring him over here. He's taking them all out. They will not last long against this swarm. He's got more than enough interceptors and strikers mixed in together so that even if you tried to counter it with air units, just wouldn't do anything. He's bringing back his defense here. He knows he can't get this area back yet. And it looks like Eickot is going for a strike now. Going for the push. What did I say over there? Got more units going in. So yeah, those ground units did not last long against this air force. And the helicopter's gone down now as well. And he's got more units coming in. I'd pull these back at this point because you can't move the air commands. Once they're placed, you can't move them. So if you put them back, he'll have to retreat and then come back to you. And having only one SAM in the area on each side is not enough to take out these air units. But he has changed into interceptors as well, so it's got extra anti-air capabilities. He is bringing some more SAM out. He's trying to get more SAM on the front lines. Over here, we have just a bit more of an expanding going on. It looks like it's been hard for him to keep that up. Broman is really using his air force to his best ability. If Eickot was aware of this area, he might be able to fight back a bit better. Might be able to send in some strikes over there, maybe with commandos. But he just doesn't know about it. Sorry. She's a sausage dog. She's got little dog syndrome. And yeah, so Broman's doing a good job expanding or holding back. He's also got a nuke there. He seems like he's changing the tide there, and I'm just going to grab the dog. I'm now holding a sausage dog. I feel weird. Sorry. Yeah, he's managed to tear up even these SAM units down. That one's destroyed nearly. That one's obviously at full health still. He's brought in some more, so that's good, but I still don't think he just hasn't got enough to deal with the ground army and the air army. He can only seem to be able to deal with one at a time at the minute. And that's going to cause problems later, especially if this nuke gets produced. Eickot seems to be putting on the pressure and slowly making his way forward, but it looks like Broman is actually making better economic decisions and holding out where he needs to be holding out. I think he knows that time's on his side where Eickot's trapped. Looks like Eickot knows he's trapped. He's going to try and solve that with this expansion here. He's going to go north and claim some extra territory, which would be great for him in the long run. But Broman has definitely got the advantage for now. Being able to build up in the other location, he's literally expanded really far away from himself just to do that. And he is defending himself with his air units that are coming in from any angle just to try and take them out. And you're hurting my arm, I'm going to put you down. Right, stop barking. Those strikers are going to easily deal with those guys. They're not going to have any problem dealing with that. But it looks like Broman doesn't have any air defense on the ground. He's only got interceptors. So that means he has to pull his interceptors in and then pull them back every time he needs to attack. So a good thing to try and do here against him, if I was trying to do it and I knew about this, I would have my air units keep hitting and then pulling back themselves. As soon as the interceptors get there, run away. And then try and do hit and run tactics against him. And that's perfectly what helicopters are for. Because they get rid of their payload really fast and do a lot of damage really quick. Don't think Broman's able to start this economy up yet because it's such a low income per minute because of the amount of air force that he's got. He just needs to get this build up so he can get his nuke and then he can use it wherever he needs to use it. Because if Broman had the chance, he'd be able to send his air units down here to do some more damage here, but he's just not able to. He's got constant pressure from both sides, which is stopping his air force from doing what he needs to do. He's trying to alleviate that pressure by putting in some ground forces here, I think. Okay, alright, back in a sec. Hello, sorry, I'm back again. And I was watching still, and I noticed that Broman's army down here got absolutely destroyed, and the way Eickot was attacking this area, I must point out, was directly against this point, because there was a line here and then a line here, so there was a point there. That was the weak point. And Eickot ploughed straight through that, and he was able to do a lot of damage quite easily. I think Broman is struggling with his air force, trying to split them up, and he is losing them slowly but surely. And I think that's what is allowing Eickot to actually get through this. However, I'm still siding with Broman right now because he's just got so much infrastructure behind him. He's put a lot into eco. He's probably quite able to lose this area and still come back from this game. He's got a nuke ready. Well, not ready, but he's got a nuke in the process there. He's just got to try and save up that 500 still. Or get rid of it. Because that is costing him money just being there. So he needs to decide what he wants to do with that. Save up the money and just wait for it to get there. Or get rid of it. And that defensive line is not going to hold out much longer. He's only got 2 factories here. And there isn't many air units now. I haven't seen much air units from Eickot. He probably needs to switch this to artillery and fill up this front line again. And over here, Eickot is pushing through with his units. He's building up a lot of factories, a lot of barracks, or at least some barracks. And he is building up his numbers quite rapidly. And he's also focused on expanding again. So he is now also claiming more territory again that was kind of rightfully Broman's at this point. And I would like to see about his naval yard over here. I remember that being there. It's finally built. I don't think it's got any other units. So this is like the first 2 units that's come out. I would probably be working on a transport unit as well. But yeah, he's definitely going in here. He wants to try and see what's on this thin patch of ground here. See if he can get any damage in there. That was quite a wise decision there. His air units just flying in, flying out. He's got his SAM units behind his front line. Not that he's got much of a front line at this point. But he is constantly applying the pressure and he's defending it from those air units. But it looks like Eickot is doing a great job at adapting throughout this whole game. He's constantly on the ball of what he's doing. And like I said earlier, he should switch this to artillery. He has done. So Broman's pretty on the spot too there. And he's also gone for a naval yard at the same time. That's quite funny, really. They have both done it pretty much at the same time. It looks like Eickot was a bit earlier. But has Eickot forgotten about it? Nope, they're moving in still. And he has focused on missile ships and not destroyers. And he's got cruiser there for the range against the land. That's not bad. And he's going up against one destroyer. It looks like he's about to hit the 500 mark. And that should start producing soon. But at this point, I'm worried if it's probably too late. There we go. It's off. Now that's started to build. But at this point, he's coming in for... He's focused down here, trying to defend here. But he's also got to worry about what's coming up here. And that is right where the nuke is. And that would be a lot of wasted money if he doesn't manage to pull it off in time. And seeing this, I'd be concerned that this is very exposed. I don't think he spotted that yet, otherwise these units would not be still going in a straight line there. So his focus must be somewhere else. It must be up here. He's looking at what he can do. Yeah, by the looks of it, he's setting up a line here, a defensive line. He knows this is going to be an area. He's got his units coming into this area. But I think he's expecting to lose this area, or the chances of it being lost is there. And I think he's setting up for what happens next. But he has filled up this line again. He's got the defense back. And Eickot is still trying to push hard on it, but there isn't... don't think there's enough reinforcements coming in to provide enough pressure there. But over here, there's more than enough reinforcements coming in. And he can't see this nuke that's over here because, as I said earlier, nukes are stealthed. They have a natural stealth no matter where they are. And he's targeting the power plant, which is full. You can see it's full, so that means the opponent has a lot of energy stored up. As you can see, it's there. And that destroyer is getting destroyed. He's targeted that building there, which I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was the power plant, I'm sure. Broman is losing his power. He's been spotted with the energy and is being taken out. And if he loses his energy, again, he won't be able to fight at this rocket, which the enemy is so close to right now. And I think Eickot's made a mistake here. Let me go over to him. Yeah, he's got these on the flag commands. These structures and these air units are going to come in and be able to destroy you really quickly. So you need to be able to take out these structures faster. Have these on A commands. And then when you set up the arrow commands, and then when you move them again, and you set up your new lines, change these to flag commands so that your reinforcements capture it, not your front line. You want your front line to get there as fast as you can. Broman is bringing in some reinforcements straight through the centre here, which in my opinion is a bad move. You should bring it across the coast or somewhere safer, because if they're here, they're going to get caught there, from all angles. It's going to be harder to defend. But he's trying to rush that nuke down. There's the cruiser there that's trying to take out the structures. I would certainly be targeting the airfields. But either way, it's still good. He can either get his ground units in or the air units to come to be prevented. You can see the rocket now, Eickot, so I don't see a response to that right now. Let's switch into Broman's view. He, although has a lot of economy up here and energy stored, it doesn't look like he's got anything to back himself up with. He did invest most of his capital over here, and he's got 1,000 left. He can still do something with that. But he's chosen not to. Is he going to be able to fire that nuke? I think this is the decider of the game, whether he gets to fire the nuke or not. So, I'd say by this game, Eickot was the winner. And I think the nuke's ready to be fired. Yep, there it goes. What does he hit with it? He's gone straight for the main section. I think he's gone for the eco here, but I don't think Eickot actually built there. And no, he hasn't. He's got a lot of SAM there, and it took out the rocket. That rocket was absolutely useless after all of that. I think at this point we can safely say Broman rage quitted after that point. The match has ended. Anyway, there are 2 videos on screen right now. If you enjoyed this one, you'll surely enjoy one of those 2. I will meet you there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you around.